Absolutely disgusting that we're drinking basically swimming pool water straight out of the tap. What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to test for chlorine in your tap water and how to filter it out. Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end because you guys won't believe what's actually in your tap water that you shower in and you also drink. We're going to be doing a whole range of tests here. I'm going to be testing it to see how quickly the chlorine can absorb into your skin and also compare the tap water with swimming pool water. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. So quickly before we start this video, I just needed to address a couple things. I posted a few short clips from the results of this video up on YouTube Shorts and I received some interesting feedback from you guys. The first one was that the results are fake. They're definitely not fake. Everything has been recorded here live and I'll show you guys the results. All the links are in the description below for all the testing kits so you can test it out yourself and see the results for yourself from home. My channel is simply to help people out. That's all my videos are, to simply help everybody out. It wouldn't benefit me in the short term or the long term to post fake content. Everything has been paid for here from my own pocket, so there's no sponsorships involved. Everything is just solely to help you guys out. From a $3 to $5 filtration system all the way up to a $4,500 unit, I paid for all of that myself to share with you guys. So the second thing that I wanted to address is very important. A lot of people are stating a very common fact that chlorine is added to the water as a disinfectant. This is common knowledge. It's been used for a long time. It's cheap, it's effective in disinfecting the water. However, my video here today is about actually consuming or being exposed to that chlorine, that harmful substance that we don't need to be exposed to. I understand its purpose when it comes to disinfecting the water. However, when it comes to actually showering in it or drinking it, you don't need to drink that chlorine. There's no health benefit in actually consuming it or being exposed to it. And that's the whole point of this video. Anytime you can avoid any kind of harmful substance, I think it's pretty reasonable to do so, especially when you've got a household here, you've got some family in your house. You can choose to take that risk and drink the chlorinated water, which I still do. I'm not a big health freak or a health nut or conspiracy theorist, as some people like to say. I think it's a pretty reasonable approach. Anytime you can avoid any kind of chemical, it's safe to do so. The easiest way I like to think about it is if you buy a food product from the store, if we take a sandwich, for example, it's wrapped in plastic to protect and preserve it all the way up until consumption. When it comes time to eat that sandwich, you don't eat it with the plastic on there. Why? Because there's no health benefit of eating the plastic, and it's actually might have the opposite effect. You might actually cause some harm to yourself, whether it's a little bit of plastic or a lot of plastic, a small amount of chemical or a large amount of chemical. If you can avoid it, I think it's pretty reasonable to do so. So with that out of the way, hopefully that addresses that issue and we can move on with this video. All right, guys, so we've recently moved into a new house and immediately noticed a bad smell and taste with our tap water. Anytime somebody has a shower, it smells like they've been showering in bleach. We've also noticed dry and itchy scalp, hair, and skin, and that's all coming from the water. After a little bit of research, I learned that there's a lot of chemicals that find its way into the water stream. Anything from chlorine, chloramine, lead, mercury, pesticides, herbicides, even pharmaceuticals. There's a whole range of different things that manage to find their way into our water, and unfortunately most of those are very expensive to test. So a lot of them you have to send off to a lab to individually test for, but what we can test for is chlorine right here from home yourself. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys how to do today. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with testing free chlorine and total chlorine. Now we're going to be using these two little tablets here, which I'll get into in a second. I have tried out a whole bunch of test strips and honestly they've been a waste of money, so don't bother with those. They're inconsistent and not very accurate. The tablets that we're using here are two little tablets called DPD1 and DPD4. DPD1 is going to test for free chlorine and DPD4 is going to test for total chlorine. Now with the total chlorine, that also includes chloramine, which is chlorine with ammonia. Now that one there is used in some areas because it's a little bit more stable, which means it'll last longer in the water in order to kill off the bacteria, viruses and parasites. Now what we're going to do is simply take one of these tablets in each one. So DPD4 will drop in here. DPD1 will drop on this side here. So remembering DPD1 is going to be for our free chlorine and DPD4 is out for our total chlorine. We're going to have a look at the difference in color change that we get here. So I'm going to crush these tablets. I'm just using the back of a spoon here. make it a little bit easier to dissolve. And with these tablets, DPD-1 you can pick up from pretty much all your pool local suppliers. They're very simple to get your hands on. You can even buy them online. DPD-4 is a little bit harder to get your hands on. So we're going to start off with our free chlorine DPD-1. I'll just put the camera now so that you guys can watch me fill this one here up. So with these two tablets, they're going to react with the chlorine that's in the water and it'll turn into a pink color. If there's no chlorine in the water, it simply will stay nice and clear. So we'll start off with our DPD-1. Just add a little bit of tap water there. And that's instantly turning pink. So you guys will be able to see there in a second. I'll just place this one here down. I'll fill up my DPD-4. So if you have a look here, they're both pretty much pinky and very close in color. With the DPD-4, if there's a big difference in color, which there's just a slight difference here, remembering DPD-4 measures for total chlorine, this one here measures for free chlorine. Now what you could do at this point is take one of these little indicators here that you can also pick up from your pool supply store. This one here is a little bit worn out with the indications on the side. I'll put a screenshot of what it's supposed to look like. But basically down the bottom here on clear is anything from 0.6. Next one up is 1, 1.5, 3, and then 5. Now these ones here are all different shades of pink, and the easiest way to tell is you can put this up against the side of it, which I can instantly see here. It's sitting around 1.5 at the tap. And if we have a look at this one here, it's just slightly darker. All right, guys, so by using these two tablets, we have in fact confirmed that there is chlorine in our drinking water. Some of the immediate side effects we've already spoken about, which was the bad smell, bad taste, dry, itchy scalp, hair, and skin. Some of the possible long-term side effects are anything from food allergies to birth defects. Now I'm going to keep this video nice and simple. You guys can do a little bit of research in your own time. I'm just going to mention two things very, very quickly that are super important. According to the US Council of Environmental Quality, cancer risk amongst people who have chlorinated drinking water is 93% higher than those whose water doesn't contain chlorine. Now that is super scary information right there. The next very important thing to note is that according to the New York State Department of Health, when chlorine enters the body as a result of breathing, swallowing, or skin contact, it reacts with the water and produces acids that are corrosive and damage the cells in the body on contact. Now that one there is super important for the next test that we're going to be doing, and that is how quickly the chlorine can actually absorb into your skin. Alright guys, so if you haven't had your mind blown yet, I'm about to freak you guys out completely. We've got some normal tap water here that I've just put in one side. What I'm going to do to prove that it is the same, in fact, water from the tap, I'm just going to pour this one here into the other side and we'll split these ones here in half. So now we've got half in each one. Okay, both chlorinated tap water that I've just taken out of the tap. I'm going to take the DPD-1 tablet, drop it on this side here. All right, and we're going to crush this tablet and watch it turn pink. All right, so you can see there it's turned pink, and we know in fact that this one here has chlorine in it. What I'm going to show you now is how quickly it absorbs into your skin. So I'm going to take my hand, drop that in the tap water just there, splash it around for 5-10 seconds, and this is basically going to simulate the world's quickest shower. Now you sit in the shower probably for about 5-10 minutes, some people 15 minutes, and hot water is actually worse because it opens up your pores, which means you're going to absorb it a lot quicker. So now we've had our hand splashing in there for about 10-20 seconds or so. We're going to take that same tablet, DPD-1, drop it in there, and I'll take the back of the spoon this time, and we're going to crush it as well. And if you guys have not already noticed, it hasn't changed color at all. Why is that? And that is simply because my skin has absorbed the chlorine in simply a matter of seconds. Now that is super scary because anytime you're having a shower, which I have 2 showers a day, which means I'm taking in chlorine 2 times a day simply by having a shower. What I'm going to do now is show you guys a quick little test. I'm going to run this one here that we've sucked out all the chlorine into my skin. So I'll quickly move this camera here over so that you guys can see as I do it. All right, so right where the tap water is, watch what happens when I add some of the chlorinated water straight from the tap. It instantly goes pink. Now that there is super scary, guys, and this is the reason for my video. So now we know definitely there's chlorine in the water. We know that it absorbs into our skin. The amount of chlorine that's allowed to be in tap water varies around the world, anywhere from 0 all the way up to 5 milligrams per litre, which it is here in the case of Australia. 5 milligrams per litre is the maximum that they're allowed to generally put into the water, and by the time it gets to the actual tap in your house, it's a lot less, generally between 0.5 and 1.5 milligrams per litre. And to put that in perspective, the amount of chlorine that there is in a swimming pool is around 3 milligrams per litre in order for it to be considered safe to swim in. Now, a quick question for you guys: would you drink your swimming pool water? I don't think anybody would. You'd assume it's completely chlorinated and it stinks, it's dirty, and that's exactly what we're getting out of the tap here. So let's test the difference between our swimming pool water and our tap water. All right, so we've got our swimming pool water here on the right. We've got our tap water here on the left. We're going to compare the two once again. So we'll drop in a tablet for our swimming pool water, and we'll also drop in a tablet for our tap water. We'll crush these two here both up. Our swimming pool water should be slightly darker because it's supposed to have chlorine at about 3 milligrams per litre, which is this one right here. And our tap water, based on our previous results, should be at about 1.5. As you can see, there's not absolutely too much difference, but our swimming pool water is slightly darker than our tap water. So based at 3 and 1.5, even if we were to take our little tool here and compare the two differences in color, gonna be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but this one here is definitely closer to 3, while this one here is closer to the 1.5 mark. But that there is the results from swimming pool to water. Absolutely disgusting that we're drinking basically swimming pool water straight out of the tap. All right guys, so now we're gonna have a quick look at how we can actually filter out the water. Now there's a whole range of different ways that you can filter it out. I'm just going to go through 3 of the main ones that I've actually had a little bit of experience with, or I'm about to have experience with. We've got a complete home filtration system, which basically means a filter that comes at the start of your water main and filters every single bit of water that comes through your house. That is an expensive option, but it's a permanent long-term option, and that's something that I'm actually getting done tomorrow, so we'll be testing that out a little bit later on in the video. 2 other options that are really good, and this one here is probably my favorite. It's called the Waters Bio 1000. It's a benchtop version of a water filtration system. So rather than having it installed permanently under your bench, this one here is a portable version, which is excellent if you're renting like I was. So I've had this one here for the past 4 years. And probably the best thing about this is not only its ability to filter out all the contaminants, is that it comes at a reasonable cost. I think I paid about $800 for it, and now it's about $900. But the upside about that is that it comes with 5 years worth of filters. So you basically don't have to do anything to it apart from replace the filters that you've got a whole 5-year supply of. And that's pretty much it. You've got it $800 or $900, I think it is now. And you've got that for 5 years. Simply replace the filters as needed, and it's pretty simple. One of the other options that I'm going to be testing out as well, because this one here I've been using for the past 4 years simply for drinking water. What I wanted to do is test out one of these here. Now this is a 20 stage shower filter, which basically gets attached to your shower head, and that way you're going to be able to filter out that chlorine. Apparently, I'm not sure, I haven't actually tested it before, but we're going to test it out now because this is a really cheap option. This one here is about $25, and you replace it every 6 to 9 months from memory, and it comes with 2 filters, so you basically got a year's filtered water for your shower head for about $25. So they're the 2 that I'd honestly recommend so far. This one here, we're about to test it, so I can't recommend it until we've actually tested it and seen if there's chlorine that comes through or if it in fact filters it out. But let's test out the Waters Bio here, because this one is probably my favorite one because I've had for the past 4 years. Let's get 2 new little bowls here. We'll fill one of them up with the filtered water, and then we'll fill one up from the tap, and we'll compare the 2. So this one here is our filtered water on the right. I'll put a little bit of tap water here. All right, so I'll bring you guys in just a little bit closer and then we'll test it out with our DPD1. All right, so we're going to drop a tablet in each one. You can see there, that one there's turning pink already. We'll crush it up. Swirl it around. And that one there is definitely got chlorine in it because that one there is our tap water. Now we'll do the same with our filtered water. I'll try not to cross-contaminate it. Crush that tablet once again. And there's absolutely no change in color. So I'll bring it in a little bit closer for you guys. It's completely dissolved and I've swirled it around. But if you have a look at that, that there is the difference between tap water and filtered water. What we're gonna do is take our filtered water with the tablet already in there, that's completely dissolved, it's nice and clear, which means it's got absolutely no chlorine in there. I'll take it over to our tap and I'll contaminate it with the chlorine that comes out of our tap. And you can see there, that's instantly gone pink. So simply contaminating it by using tap water is going to reintroduce that chlorine straight back into our filtered water. All right, so these filters are usually attached to the actual shower head because you can undo the shower head, put this in between the actual head itself and the rail, and that way it'll filter it before it actually comes onto your body. But what I'm going to do in this case to make it a bit easier for recording is I'm going to actually attach it to the handle. So I'm going to put this filter here on the side and we'll pull apart this handle. Then we can attach our filter here. Take that seal, drop that in as well, the rubber washer. And then we'll reattach the handle. So now we're going to test out the filtered water. We'll fill it up once again as we've done before. We'll take this water and we'll drop in one of those tablets again. We'll crush it up and mix it to make sure it's completely dissolved. And as you guys can see there, it's still crystal clear, which means this $25 option does in fact work, and it's a cheap way to make sure that you've got chlorine-free water while you're showering. So now if we take the filtered water with the tablet inside and we add a little bit of water from the top shower head here, because this one here isn't filtered, it should start to turn pink. As it is there. So if you have a look at that, you can see that it has in fact filtered it, while our top main shower head isn't actually filtered. So we're going to be testing out the cheapest filtration option, which is this one right here. It costs anywhere between $3 to $5, depending on where you buy it from. It's got a little clamp that you clamp onto the actual tap itself. It's got a few different fittings here. Not sure if it's going to work at all. So we're going to be testing it out here. Now this one here arrived a little bit later. And I've already got my complete home filtration installed, so we're doing it on a job site here. We'll fill up some water and we'll drop in our tablet. I've also forgotten to pick up, to bring a spoon with me. So we're going to be crushing it using the back of a chisel here. Hopefully I don't break the plate. And you can see there, it's already turned pink, as we expected. So we know right there that we've got chlorine here, and this one here is actually a decent shade of pink, so we know there's a fair bit of amount of chlorine in here. We'll leave this one here on the side, connect the filter, and then we'll test it again. So I might have to actually let the water run through this filter here for a couple seconds before we actually test it, just to make sure that it is in fact filtering. We'll take out this little adapter in here. That one there looks like it's going to fit, so we just simply take our clamp, slide that one there in, and then we're going to clamp it straight on top. I might get this clamp out of the way so you guys can see. Now this is the absolute cheapest filtration system that I could find online, and I was hoping it would come earlier so that I could test it out at my property, but That's as good as it's going to get now. We're going to be testing it out here. We'll let it run for a bit. It might come out a little bit dark. Initially, it didn't there. That's actually coming out pretty good. We'll let it run for a couple of seconds before we test it. Make sure the water's actually filtered completely through that. All right, so now we'll test it out. Exactly the same. Drop in our tablet and crush it up. And you can see there it is actually turning pink, so by the looks of it, it hasn't filtered much out, if any. We'll compare the two shades of pink in a second. I might have to actually let this one here run for a little bit, but they're both pretty much exactly the same. So I'll let this tap here run for a bit longer. We'll get rid of that water there. Give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it has to run through all of these beads or all the stages first before it actually works. So I'll let this one here run for a couple more seconds or a minute or two, then we'll come back and we'll test it again. So the tap's been running for about a minute or so. We'll test it out once more. I did notice that it's actually leaking out the side here. So far, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. You can see there it's leaking out the sides. Drop in a tablet once again. And we'll see if we've got any difference. I can already see a stream of pink coming out. So there you have it, guys. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. This one here absolutely does nothing. I'll unscrew this one here and show you guys a bit of a close-up once again to make sure that you don't waste your money. If you see this one here on the market, don't bother buying it. So now that we've got that out of the way, we'll move on to our complete home filtration system and we'll test that one there out. So this here is what the complete home water filtration system looks like once it's been installed. I had mine mounted onto the side of the house and it's got a nice little cover. Once you remove that, you expose those 3 filters with some gauges on top, and that shows you just how much pressure is running through each one of those filters. It's pretty simple. The main water supply goes up into those filters and then comes back out nice and clean, pushing all that water straight through your house into every single tap. Now, if you're curious, here's a little bit more information as to what those 3 stages of filtration exactly are. So now that we've got the complete water filtration system installed on the whole house, once again we'll repeat the same process. We've got an empty bowl here. We'll fill it up with some water from the tap and we'll drop in one of these tablets once again, crush it up, and we're going to check and see if we've got any change in color, which we'd hope to think not, because this system here was the most expensive out of the lot. Right there you can see we've got nice crystal clear water, and that's all running throughout the whole house here. I don't have to individually go through every single tap whenever the filter needs to be replaced. This whole house now is running filtered water, and I just simply have to replace the main filters on that main unit once a year, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so this has been a very long and expensive testing period and video. We've got 4 main different options here. This cheaper option, to summarize, looks ugly and doesn't perform, so save you $3 to $5 and don't bother buying one. If you've got sensitive skin, you're renting and you wanted to get something just for your shower, especially if you've got a newborn and you're concerned about it, this little $20 option here, or $25, is absolutely perfect. All the links will be in the description in case you guys wanted to pick one up. Perfect for renting as well. You can disconnect it, put everything back the way it was, and move over to the next house, reinstall it. This one here is probably my favorite option, the drinking water portable, which means even if you're renting, once again, you take it from one house to the next. It filters out fluoride as well as chlorine, and it comes with 5 years worth of filters. So I've had this one for about 4 or 5 years, working perfect, nothing to complain about. The home filtration system is super expensive. I don't understand why, to be honest. I think they're overcharging. It cost me just over $4,500 for the complete home filtration system. It's good that it prevents having to put a separate filter on every outlet in your house. but that is super expensive. It's overpriced. It should be around half that amount. I'm going to look into it and see what other alternatives are out there, and if there is something better, or if I can even personally get something better and bring it out to you guys, that's something that I'm looking at doing. Once again, this is all just to avoid it whenever it's possible. If you don't have an alternative and you've only got tap water there, I'm not saying don't drink tap water. I'm saying if you've got an alternative, it's always better to opt for the alternative that has no harmful chemicals or residue or anything like that. And that's the whole purpose of this video. I still drink tap water, but whenever this one here is around, I always go for this one here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and you've learned something new. As always guys, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Bill's How To.